through, so, yeah.
One of my interests is hunting and fishing, and the Land and Water Conservation Fund typically has about $900 million from the federal government that goes out to the states. Montana has $344 million in the last 40 years. My understanding is that the money for this comes from offshore gas and oil money and leasing. Why did you vote to cut this funding for Montana and the rest of the state?
We had to look at the entire budget. Every area was under consideration for reductions. It was a one-year reduction, and frankly, I made the determination that would it hurt us to take a break from the spending for a one-year period, because the Land and Water Conservation is used for purchasing property or other areas within the program itself. And so, I don't know, if you want us to continue to spend like it doesn't matter, or that we can pay for our bills, then I'm probably not your guy.
Those are tax dollars, though, aren't they from gas and oil leasing?
Well, so collecting a fee from somebody is not like a backdoor tax, or collecting revenue in one way. And wouldn't a smart thing to be doing is taking that money and maybe putting it somewhere else in government for like 1 year period of time, so we can relieve the pressure somewhere else on spending. And so, as we set priorities, it's not to suggest, I voted for the Land and Water Conservation funding in the past, but I also have a recognition that if we don't do something with our spending right now, we may not have just not that, but we may not have the money for Title I or all the other programs. So, just because it's a source of revenue that's coming in that is earmarked, doesn't necessarily mean that we have to just continue spending. It doesn't lessen my desire to hunt or fish or be proactive and support people who want to do that. It's a recognition that it really kind of bugs, I think, Montanans and Americans when you say we're going to cut it across the board, except, especially when we say except. In my mind, Republicans have a tendency to say it in the except of defense and homeland security. And my attitude is, wait a minute, defense contractors can create problems too and pad budgets. So I think everything ought to be on the table, everything. I think we need to look at defense and make sure that we're not wasting money. Let me give you one of those shocking statistics, and that is I had an oversight hearing in my committee on what is called improper payments. And it is anticipated right now, the estimate is that the federal government pays out $125 billion a year to people that shouldn't be getting it, like grandma dies. We keep sending the check to grandma. Well, and it's not coming back. I mean, somehow it's being cashed. And other overpayment, that's called an improper payment. It's not necessarily fraud, but it is a mistake. And so I just think that during this time of fiscal crisis that you're all struggling with, the government ought to tighten up its belt as well, as the families do, the city, the county, and the state. And that's just one of those areas that I hope I'm consistent, not only in land and water conservation, but also in defense and homeland security and all the other areas of spending, because again, everybody just really does not like the exception, oh, by the way,